Hi, how's everybody doing today? I wanted to jump on here real quick and talk about something that might be very important to some of us out there, and we might not even realize it. So, it's spring, fixing to be summer, and as the everything winds up, uh, sometimes we take on responsibilities of, maybe more than what we have been through the winter. Okay, in doing this, we need to take time to ask ourselves what we're doing. Okay, so responsibility is like a two-sided coin. One side, if it's not ours, if it's not our if it's not ours to hold, then it can be draining and can be hurtful to us. But if it is our responsibility, then we learn and we grow from it and can be empowering. Okay, so you know we have to be responsible about certain aspects of it. If we're being responsible for somebody else, other than our children and our pets, of course we got to take care of them. But other things, people that may not be somebody that we should be responsible for. This, like not our children, other grown, adults or however. But if we're being responsible for somebody we're not supposed to be responsible for, we can hinder their growth and we can damage our relationship with them. Okay. If we're doing what we're responsible for and we do it correctly, it can be very empowering and it causes growth. And, that's the path we want to be on. But we don't want to take somebody else's lesson from them and disturb their growth. Okay. So we need to ask ourselves, is this something I need to be doing? Is this for me or is this somebody else? Okay. you know, do you have an imbalance? Are you the person that's always got to do for everybody else, and you're pouring, eventually you'll pour from an empty cup. You're hurting yourself. So, we got to take time and reflect and do for us, because if we do too much for others, then we're harming ourselves. Okay, as well as not helping them either, because they need to learn to grow and to do for themselves in whatever ways it might be. So, are you taking responsibility for what you need to be taking responsibility for? Are you running away from something you need to be responsible? Are you shoving something off on somebody else? Okay, we need to ask ourselves that. Because if it's our responsibility, we need to step up and take responsibility for it and do it. And if it's not, then they need to let it be who it belongs to. Okay, so yeah, we need to ask ourselves, maybe even journal on it. Ask yourself, is this mine, or should this be somebody else's? Okay, am I taking on too much, or is somebody not taking on enough? Okay, so in part of caring for ourselves, we need to ask these questions. So maybe take a few minutes today and, maybe meditate on it. Or are you stressed out? Are you trying to figure out why I can't get, why I don't have enough time for this or why I don't have enough time for that? Maybe you're doing too much or you're doing something that's somebody else's. So take and reflect on that, maybe meditate on it or journal. Journaling is very good. Ask yourself these questions and see what you come up with. Tune into yourself and find out. Maybe you're not doing enough for yourself, or maybe there's a little bit more out there you need to be doing and taking the edge off of somebody else. So let's take time to reflect and see where we end up. And that's it. So I'll talk to you again later. Have a good weekend.